friends, Nibs again, doing a multi-part series on rebuilding one of these Crosman Model 180s, and I did a video showing the tear down, getting it all apart. It was pretty gummed up and stuck together, like glued together with WD-40. WD-40 is not a firearm lubricant. I would keep WD-40 miles away from all of my guns. So, but I've got this one all apart. This will be a real quick one for you guys. I just wanted to show you real quick how well this Howard's Restore Finish really works. And so we'll go ahead. I'm going to show you how I clean up these pieces of wood. And I think this is really going to be an eye-opener for some people. But let me bring you down to the tabletop here. And so this one is, it looks fuzzy because it's got this coating of WD-40 and dirt stuck all over the outside of it. The safety is still a little bit sticky, but I actually got it moving. But this stuff actually has a pretty good solvent ability to it as well. It's very finish safe though, so I haven't used it on any piece of wood that it actually removed finish from. So this is what we're using. This is Howard's Restore Finish, and I'm pretty sure they still carry this. I haven't bought any in several years, but got this from Home Depot, and basically just put a little bit on a rag and start scrubbing. You can kind of see already this thing was just fuzzy and dirty and scuzzy looking. You couldn't see the grain of the wood. Let me get a cleaner rag so you can see what's coming off of there. But yeah, one of these cans, they have like 4 or 5 different colors. I know I have at least 4 over here, but if you do find a little stubborn spot, you can splash a little bit of this on a piece of steel wool or brass wool. I like brass wool. It's a little less abrasive, little more gentle on old finishes, but you want to be really careful with that because it will take the finish off. What I wanted to do before I even started doing any of this was take this butt plate off so I can clean that up. Just everything is totally, if you've ever dealt with old WD-40, you know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, it has a smell to it. But I mean, it's not offensive, but so this got a little chip in it. If it was worse than that, I could repair that. I've done a couple repair jobs on pieces like that before. If it was missing a big chunk, you take 2-part epoxy and you take a black pencil and just use a file and file off a couple millimeters of the graphite from like a number 2 pencil, mix it with the epoxy, and then you build a little dam and you can fill in that new area. And then once you sand and shape it, it blends right in. It looks just like the old black plastic material. I've done that on several old buttstocks in the past and really done a good job on them. So this has got some build up back here that is being a little stubborn. But overall, it's really cleaning up pretty nice so far. I might cut down some of this and bring you back at the end. But so this is basically all you do is you just keep dampening your cloth, and you want to keep it so it's got kind of a solvent smell to it, but eventually it will solvent and kind of an oil base too. Like I said before, the solvent is very gentle, but it has a really good effect on like adhesives and old oils and things like that. So here's a real quick example. You see what this side looks like in just a couple of minutes work on this side already. Quite a big difference. I'm gonna try a little bit of steel wool on this portion right here. But it's mainly just a bunch of elbow grease at this point, just working it. So let me see here, I got a toothbrush here, and I want to get a little bit in the cap. I want to work a little bit of that down in around this safety, because the solvent will actually start to break down that old WD-40 that was inside that. Look how easy that's moving already. So much better. And then you can get down inside the channel here, scrub that down real good. That was really coated up with WD-40 down inside this channel underneath the barrel, or underneath the air tube. If you remember from the other video, I had to actually tap it, because it was tap it on the barrel on the table, because it was like glued onto the stock because of the Alright, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause this. I'm going to finish this up, and I'll bring you on at the end and show you the end results, and I bet you'll be really surprised. Alrighty friends, I am back with you now, and as you can see, I've got this thing cleaned up pretty darn nice. Got a little bit of stuff on this side, needs to be wiped off still. Picking stuff up off the towel here probably, but you can see it's night and day difference from what we started out with. It's still not perfect, which is not where I was really going for. This is a 75-year-old pellet rifle, and I want it to look like a 75-year-old pellet rifle again, but I want it to look very nice and presentable. So still has a couple little dingies, and which is what you would expect from a gun this old, but I did use a little bit of brass wool to nudge that gunk that was on the end there that didn't want to come off, but the rest of it cleaned up really nice. I really think it might have been sitting like this and they just sprayed it down, because it was almost like dripped and caked up at the bottom here and stuff, but it's cleaned up pretty good. And I'm gonna set this aside. I'm done with the stock now. So another thing that I've found and really works nice is if you see, this barrel has it's not really rusted, but it's got that surface grunge on it. And I'm going to show you a little trick that I found that really works well to kind of preserve the patina that has built up over years, but get rid of that grunge. Again, you take a little bit of this Howard's Restore finish, and it really works well for a lubricant for this. You take a little bit of your brass wool, dip it in there, and then you just very gently, not a lot of pressure is needed at all, but you just work the brass wool on that grunge on the barrel. And this works for air rifles, and it works for, you know, traditional guns too. I really picked this up while I was working on my old 22s mostly that I have, and milsurps that have been misused and abused and neglected. But again, we're not really looking to make it look like a showroom new, you know. Gun that just came out of Crosman's factory. We want it to still look like a 75, 80-year-old gun. This particular model was started in 1952, and this is an older one because it does have, like I said, it does have this the stamped steel trigger guard. And in later years, and I don't remember exactly what year, probably later 50s, they went over to a cast aluminum trigger guard, which is a pretty cool model as well. But as you can see, we've cleaned that up pretty good. I'll probably do a little bit more with it, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys. I'm not going to keep you for all of that. This piece here actually doesn't look too bad, but it could use a little bit of cleaning with that as well, and we'll do that off camera. And this will be part 2, and then part 3 I'll bring you guys back on, and we'll put all the seals in and put it all back together. So anyway, I'll bring you up here for a minute. So there's part 2 of restoring, or I guess you could call it, I call it conservation. I'm not really doing a restore on it. I'm doing a rebuild, but I'm just doing a conservation, keeping the old look, keeping it looking like it's 75 years old. So that's what we like to call conservation, not restoration. If it was in much worse shape, I would say you probably want to strip it down and put some new finish on it, but it really did turn out pretty good, and I think it's going to be a handsome looking little rifle once I get done. The only part that I'm missing still is it needs a new rear sight, so I'm going to have to look around and find one of those. But anyway, there you go. Stay tuned for part 3. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when I do post up new videos. Till next time, have a great day.